Very good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone from across the globe, and hope you had a very nice weekend. So, my dear friends, and today we are going to learn about mental abundance. Mental abundance is something which we all need, or as well, because once the energy flows through the sahasrara, which is the spiritual abundance, it flows through to our mental aspects, then to our emotional aspects, and then to our physical aspects. So that is what we need to learn, to let the energy flow from above to below. So today we are going to learn about mental abundance. So there are 12 points, my dear friends, and let me start the presentation for you. Today we are going to learn about mental abundance. So as we have already learned on the fourth day, is that outer riches are the reflection of your inner richness. So how rich have you become till now, my dear friends, in these 4 days? How much treasure have you, found within to be abundant? I'm sure that you have found many riches inside of yourself, discovered the riches inside of yourself once you have gone through that subject of abundance all these 4 days, and we have come to the day 5. So our inner richness should be accumulated not at the expense of the outer richness, my dear friends. Or the outer richness should not be accumulated at the expense of our inner richness. So that is how we need to go in. And there are 12 rivers, my dear friends, or we can say rays or virtues of spiritual prosperity that create 12 abilities in the mental plane of man, my dear friends. We have studied the 12 ways of or virtues of spiritual prosperity, isn't it, my dear friends? So those 12 virtues create 12 abilities in the mental plane. And those 12 abilities are a treasure for all of us, my dear friends, to find out and to explore ourselves or to work on ourselves. And what are these 12 abilities in the mental plane? So these are the 12 abilities or 12 sources or causes of great prosperity. And if you want, you can take a screenshot of this. We are going to discuss everything about all these 12 points today. So we are going to understand about the power of concentration and sense of accuracy, the ability to relate and balance, the ability to see things from viewpoints, insight and foresight, and etc. So these are the 12 abilities on the mental plane, my dear friends, which we need to learn today. The first one, my dear friends, is the power of concentration. How much is your power of concentration on anything that you say, you do, or think? We are talking only about the mental plane, my dear friends. So let us focus only on our mental body, on our mental plane, on our thinking, on our thoughts. Only on our mind, my dear friends. Let us focus only on our mind, as this picture says. So the power of concentration is a great value within it. And when you're consciously in existence with your acts, words, and thoughts, you have concentration. Because all your acts and all your words and thoughts come from your mind. First, we think about it, and in the form of a thought, it comes out from your mouth. And because it comes from your mind, you act accordingly, because the mind is a functional character. When you're out of meditation, your mind functions, and that is how you function. Your body functions, your mouth functions, your hands function. Everything functions because the mind is working. And concentration is the ability to focus various rays, influences, and viewpoints and use them for the success of your goal. What does it mean by that? What are the various rays that we have learned about? It is the 12 spiritual virtues of abundance, my dear friends. The virtues that we have learned, those are called as the rays, the virtues. So how do we focus those rays, those virtues in our mental plane? is what we are talking about here. And how are they going to influence us? All the influences that we have on the mental plane, through the spiritual plane, through spiritual abundance is what we are talking about here. And the different viewpoints accordingly. So how do all of this cater to the success of our journey? Whatever goal you have set for yourself. Concentration, my dear friends. Focus. Those are the things that we need to develop in the mental plane. Through the help of the spiritual race. The virtues, the 12 virtues. And what does concentration do? Concentration creates magnetism and energy. Magnetism, energy, and a focused mind are three great factors which contribute to your success in any field of human endeavor. You know how they say, right? When there is a will, there is a way. What is that will? That is focus, that is concentration. That is where you focus your energy on. That is what willpower is. If you do not think about something sincerely, with utmost dedication and commitment, it doesn't become concentration. You don't have a focused mind. So, the first exercise that I would like to say over here is, what are you focused on? Where is your focus? Where are you putting your energy into? What do you want? What is your goal? And how do you want to use these 12 spiritual virtues to achieve what you want to achieve? How is your focus, my dear friends? And depending on how your focus is, the success of you achieving it or not is dependent upon. What is your focus? Only if you are committed, focused, then only we can achieve something. And that is what is the power of concentration, my dear. And the second treasure of the mental plane, or the ray, or the virtue, or the activities of the mental plane, or the techniques of the mental plane is called the sense of accuracy. The sense of accuracy is an important factor in your success. And it is a great mental treasure by which you try to be accurate in your thoughts, words, expressions, evaluations, reports, and measures. What does it mean by accuracy? It has to be factual. It has to be truthful. It has to carry the element of truth in that, my dear friends. How much truth does your information or data or facts carry? Are your words or thoughts or any other things based on assumptions, imaginations, or actual realities? How accurate are you in what you're speaking, in what you're expressing, my dear friends? How accurate are you? See, my dear friends, the thoughts and the words that we have, whenever we throw something these out, these are like playing a dart game. You throw the arrows at the dart and you try to focus and throw the dart on the center of the dartboard. If you don't have the sense of accuracy, then the darts will go haywire. You'll not be able to throw it at the right point. So that is what the sense of accuracy is, my dear friends. Imagine a dartboard in front of you, and you have those darts, like these arrow things that, when you throw, they go and stuck at the dartboard. Every word, every thought is like that. How accurate are you in your expressions, in your thoughts, in your words, in your evaluations? And when you study something, how do you report it? How factual it is, how truthful it is? What statistics is it based on? And what are the measures that you would like to take accordingly? Oh, I threw a dart on the dartboard and it missed. Why did it miss? Where did I lack in? How do I correct myself in it? How should I be more accurate? How should I focus more? When you focus more, you have greater chance to be accurate. That is why Patriji says, if you don't know something, don't say that you know. Only if you know something, open your mouth. We usually open our mouth thinking that we know something. We know something about others. We know something about science. We know something about soul. We know something about so many things. But in actuality, when in reality, we do not know anything. Speak only as much as you know. Be accurate in your words and expressions and how you influence others, how you influence yourself. What do you actually know? When a science teacher is asked about mathematics, what should the science teacher say? I don't know. And if a mathematics teacher is asked about Shakespeare poems, what should the mathematics teacher say? I don't know. But how often do we really say I don't know when we really don't know? We make many assumptions about ourselves, about other people, about everything around the globe. We make so many assumptions, imaginations that, oh, it must have been like this, it must have been like that. How accurate are you? See, all these things come from your mind. So our mind has to be very, very, very accurate and to the point. The mind should know where the thoughts are coming from. Where are your thoughts coming from? Do you know the source of your thoughts? Your thought can come from anywhere, from the news, from the past, from the pain, from your neighbor. What is the source of your thoughts, my dear friends? And how accurate are they? That is the most focal point over here, my dear friends. The sense of accuracy. And success demands accuracy, my dear friends. If you're not accurate, then you cannot be successful for a longer time. Everything that you do, say, think, act should be accurate. We should be mentally healthy to be able to focus our mind on something and to be accurate. We have to be mentally healthy. And all these things will make us healthy, my dear friends. All these points. So an accurate person builds his success on the rock of accuracy. Just imagine, my dear friends, if a job is given to me to find the accuracy of a certain volcano, will it erupt or not? And I go back and say, I have got the information saying that this volcano will not erupt for 1 more year. And an eruption happens in the next 2 months. What is going to happen? People will die because of your wrong report, because of your wrong evaluation. So that grave a danger can be of your assumptions, of your imaginations, of your wrong analysis and wrong reports. It will not only influence you, but others as well. So how accurate are you, my dear? Very, very, very accurate. Thoughts are free. Words are free. But with great freedom comes great responsibility, my dear friends. So nature builds, sustains, and progresses in accurate measures. And everything that is inaccurate is refused by the forces of nature, my dear friends. Beauty is accuracy. Chaos is a state of inaccuracy. So how are you inside your mind? In what state is your mind in? Is it chaotic? Is it peaceful? Is it beautiful? Is it joyful? How is it? How have the mental how has the mental plane been influenced by the spiritual treasures that you have accumulated or you have cultivated? How? That beauty that we have learned to cultivate should flow into your mental plane. And that is how chaos goes away. So that is the second treasure of the mental plane, which is the sense of accuracy, my dear. And the third treasure is the ability to relate and balance. To relate and balance, my dear. And this is such a beautiful quality of mind which must be developed beginning from childhood. And that is why this particular subject is fit to be given to students, to children. And when we have the ability to relate, we enrich our life, expand our consciousness, and use many gifts of nature. The ability to relate and to balance, my dear, it's very, very, very important aspect of our mind. And when we know how to relate, we learn how to balance extremes and create equilibrium. And as Buddha said, middle path in everything. The middle path gives us the ability to balance everything, to relate everything. And to balance means to use forces constructively or to make forces constructive and goal-fitting. What do you mean by constructive? It has to be beneficial for you and it has to be beneficial for everyone else, my dear friends. To use all your forces constructively. Either you love what you do or what you do is what you love. So you are able to find the common denominator of various equations. And you are a person who the forces of nature obey. You obey the laws of nature. You obey the forces of nature. And that is how everything becomes constructive, my dear friends. And to be a progressive soul on the path of infinity is to be a point of balance on an ever-rising scale of conflicting forces. The ability to relate yourselves, my dear friends, relate yourself with the laws of nature, relate yourself with the forces of nature, and that is how you can really become constructive. You can really become useful for yourself and the entire world. By relating your thoughts with the laws of nature. And when you relate your thoughts with the laws of nature, when you relate your mind with the laws of nature, that is when you can really be in balance, in equilibrium. That is how you create balance, my dear friends. How do you create balance? By not going to extremes. And when you can relate to the laws of nature, the nature will make you balance. The nature will tell you how to be on the middle path. And that is how you become constructive person, not a destructive person. You will find the different various permutations and combinations and equations to be as constructive as possible, my dear friends. And why? Because you relate to the nature's laws and you obey them. That is why you are in balance and you are in equilibrium. You are not on the extreme parts of nature. You are in the middle path. You obey the laws of nature. And when you obey the laws of nature, when you relate to the laws of nature, you will not be in a conflict with yourself. And you will never be able to be influenced by conflicting forces. Because you have already learned the balance, the equilibrium. How to be in balance, my dear friends. And then we come to the fourth ability. The fourth ability to see things from various viewpoints, my dear friends, which brings great prosperity to the person who uses it. So I can give you an example over here as it is given at the bottom of the presentation, which is look at it from the bottom side, from the top side, from the side 1, from the side 2, from the side 3, from side 4, from inside. Just look at this globe, my dear friends. If I look at it from one side, I see Africa. If I look at it from the top side, I see Arctic Circle. If I see from the sideways, I will see Australia. If I see from another place, I will see America. If I see from the bottom, I'll see Antarctica. If I see from another place, I'll see China. But what we see is not the only truth, isn't it, my dear friends? Only when we include all the viewpoints, that is when we can see the globe, the earth, perfectly, my dear friends, with all the things that we have seen from different viewpoints is actually the reality of the whole of the planet. We can't say that only Africa exists. We can't say that only Australia exists on this planet. Just because we see it from one viewpoint. What is the ability to see things from different viewpoints? It is a viewpoint of 360 degrees, my dear friends. We should be able to see everything from a 360-degree angle and then only confirm that this is the truth. We should be able to know something from every angle on a 360-degree mode, my dear friends. And that will bring great prosperity to every person, my dear friends. And all our failures are based on a certain viewpoint which we neglected or we had no chance to examine. If we missed out on seeing China, would that be complete? It won't be complete. Because only when China is also included, it will be a 360-degree vision, isn't it? Let us focus on all the aspects. A 360-degree vision is very, very important for us to examine something completely, fully. And that is how you also need to observe yourself, my dear friends. And things are used in the right place, in the right dosage, in the right conditions, by the right people, if they are observed from as many viewpoints as possible. Please read this sentence, my dear friends, properly. Things are used in the right place, in the right dosage, in the right conditions, by the right people, if only they are observed from as many viewpoints as possible. This increases your understanding. This increases your maturity. This increases your seeing everything in the right aspect, in exactly the things as they are. It gives us the ability to see things in a particular aspect. How to act, how much to speak, what to speak, whom to speak, who is the right person to speak to. How should I formulate my words? How should I formulate my thoughts? Only when we see everything from a different view, as many viewpoints as possible, will we be able to handle a situation or deal with the situation in the right way. We'll be able to relate with everything in the right manner. Let it be the persons, let it be the situations, let it be things, let it be anything. Let us not be stuck with just a single viewpoint. Let us have a 360-degree angle before we judge something, before we have an opinion on somebody, before we assess situations. Let us imbibe or cultivate a habit of viewing it from different viewpoints. And any object can be observed from 7 viewpoints, as we have already discussed. You can experiment on this, on a box, on the globe, on a person, on yourself, on a situation. It can be anything. Just try to take that object, the situation as an object, and observe it from every angle. Pick up a person as an object and observe him or her from different angles. Just see how your perception gets differentiated from each time you think more and more and more. From each time you see that person in a different viewpoint. See how your mind changes, how your thoughts change, how your perception changes about everything. See, just experiment on yourself and others and situations and objects. Every time you see anything in a new viewpoint, your perception will change, my dear kids. And you will be able to understand it better and better and better. And that is what is the ability to see things from various viewpoints, my dear friends. And this is a great mental ability which very few people follow. If I think in certain way, I will believe that that is the only way to see anything. I will not consider the other viewpoints. the points that others have. If I have a viewpoint and somebody else has another viewpoint, we do not want to listen to that viewpoint because I have a viewpoint which I only see, and that is the only truth. Why not consider the other's viewpoint also and see from their perspective? Why not? Why is it that only your viewpoint is right or truth? If I say that I see Africa, if Manusha sees from another side of the earth and she sees Australia, does it mean that she is wrong? And for Manusha, am I wrong? No, we are both right. We're just seeing the earth from different angles. That's it. Never, ever, ever criticize someone or belittle someone just because they have a different viewpoint. We have different viewpoints because we are seeing something from a different angle. Let's accept everyone's viewpoints. Agree. We may not necessarily agree to everyone's viewpoints, but let's accept it first of all. Let's acknowledge. So this exercise is a fantastic one and has been used in mystery schools with great benefit, my dear friends. And the next step is to exercise varied viewpoints in your emotional and mental activities or observe world events from as many viewpoints as possible. A mind disciplined by such a procedure will be a great agent for prosperity and for the right usage of prosperity. And then, once we observe from all the viewpoints, we comprehend something. And comprehension means to see things from all possible directions. From all possible directions, my dear friends. Then we come to the fifth point, which is called the insight and the foresight. And insight and foresight are great treasures. Insight means you see the cause of things. You see how things originated. For example, if I'm suffering today, what does it mean? That means I made others suffer sometime. So, if something is happening now to you or to somebody or a situation or anything, what is the cause of it? You try to see the causes of everything that is happening to you, happening to others, happening in the world, situations or anything. What is the cause of it? You try to find the cause of it. And that is called insight, my dear friends. And what is foresight? Foresight is the ability to see the result of things. For example, if I kill an animal, what will result in? Some kind of suffering that it will create. So foresight is to see the ability to see the result of my actions, my words, my thoughts in the future. Insight is to be able to find the causes. Foresight is to be able to see the results. So we need to have both insight and the foresight to assess ourselves, to assess situations, to assess the world situations. And foresight is related to the future, to the purpose. And insight is related to the plan and consciousness of forms or events. Why did that happen? And what will happen if I know this, say this, think this? That is called as insight and foresight, my dear friends. And the ability to think is a great treasure. To think means, what is the meaning of thinking, my dear friends? This is the definition of thinking. To think means the ability to relate your thoughts with the thoughts of others, or the ability to answer your questions and needs, and meet your needs on various levels. This is the ability to think, my dear friends. What is the ability to think? The ability to think means to relate your thoughts with the thoughts of others, or the ability to answer your questions and meet your needs on various levels. That is the ability to think, my dear friends. We might think, but we are not aware of what we are thinking, how we are thinking, what is the state of our mind, where are our thoughts coming from, what are our sources of thoughts, what is the ability to think, what is thinking. And once we think, we translate. How do we translate? The ability to translate the incoming flow of impressions, visions, and ideas and the subjective world and the thoughts sent by people into space. See, space is very, very big, and I can catch a thought which has been thrown out by Sharmishta. I can catch that thought, and I will think that that thought belongs to me. That thought came from my mind, but it's actually a thought which is thrown out into the space by Sharmishta. And I can throw a thought from my mind and it flows into the space and it will go to the person who has so and so attractive. The frequency of that person is attracting those thoughts. So my thought will go and get attached to Manusha. And we think that whatever thoughts that we have in our mind, it belongs to us and it is original. Think about it once again. Are your thoughts original? Do you really know that those thoughts belong to you? Those are your thoughts. And how are you translating those thoughts into your impressions, visions, and ideas? That is called as insight and foresight, my dear friends. And if registered and translated correctly, turn into a great help to make you the most successful person. And to translate means to know the meaning of impressions and to appropriate them to your needs. When you are spiritually abundant, you will know what your needs are, isn't it? You will know what others' needs are. You will know what the world needs are. And that is how you translate them into the meaning of impressions, words, thoughts, actions. And some people feel an impression and take immediate action before others awaken to the situation. I get a glimpse of an idea or a thought. I catch it and I implement that. While others are sleeping, while others are waiting to be awakened. And such people are successful people. And if you translate the words, the behavior and expressions of people with accuracy, you will never use people for things which will create problems for you. You will never use people for things which will create problems for you. And to observe the events in the world and to translate them accurately teaches you what steps to take and in what direction. Concentration, focus, accuracy, insight and foresight, my dear friends. These are very, very important mental abilities to be successful in your life. And retain your success, sustain your success. Let's become mentally abundant, my dear friends. Let's cultivate our mind, develop our mind. And Occam gives an example over here. One day, Occam's teacher, he says, one day my teacher told me to go and sit in the corner of a busy street and watch people walking for 1 month. He says, why do I need to do that? And the teacher says, it is good for you. So Occam went and sat there and he hated all that lost time. He read a newspaper, book or a newspaper or daydream until the month was over. And the teacher asked, what did you see in people? He said, well, they just walk. Then the teacher asked, did you see anything more? He says, no. So then again he says, go and observe 1 month more. So what is Occam think? He was internally irritated. And he said, what am I going to watch? They just walk, I said to myself, is what Occam said. So then Occam watched for 3 days and he saw that people really walk differently. And that discovery created an interest in me, in him. So 5 days later, it dawned on my mind that their walk was translating their various emotions. Irritated people walk differently than people who are happy. Anger, fear, and jealousy take different walks. I was so interested that I wanted to stop everyone and affirm my discovery, is what he wanted to say. And he actually did it. So he did it with a few girls and boys, going directly to them and asking, why are you angry? Why are you afraid? Because you seem so depressed. And they say, yeah. Observation can tell us so many things, my dear friends. And observation will tell us how we do some things. We consciously and unconsciously do something, and we discover it by observing others. So then he even sat down with a few of them and talked about their problems. Then he says, then I discovered that I would read their emotions through their walk. And at the end of the month, I went to my teacher to talk to him about my discoveries. He said, good. That is fine progress, but you need another month. Another month? What else can I see? He says, well, you're just in front of the gate. So I sat at the corner for another month. And he says, I almost knew everybody. I knew their emotions. But after watching them closely, I discovered that they were not only translating their physical conditions and emotional states through their work, but also their dreams, thoughts, and expectations. Do we do that? Let us ask ourselves, do I do that? This is a beautiful experiment which Occams Teacher asked Occam to do. Can we do this experiment? For 3 straight months, just observing people, watching them walk around. That's all. So this was a great revelation to Occam, and he began to watch his own walking, checking his own physical, emotional, mental conditions and how they were expressing themselves through his walk and gestures. And this brought him another revelation that he could sense the person behind the body and see his thoughts, emotions, and motives. Let us try to see a person beyond their bodies, my dear friends. Let us try to see ourselves beyond our bodies. And that is what this experiment has taught Occam. And after this discovery, he went to his teacher and confessed to him how childish he had been questioning his method and having resistance. And then he talked about his discoveries. And the teacher said, that's it. But remember that what you found is just the beginning. Use this watchfulness and power of observation, and you will be an expert translator. You will be able to translate emotions into meanings. First on yourself and then about others. You might not want to do this for 3 months, straight as Occam said, but you might want to go and sit in a park or in a public place and just sit in a corner and observe people. Don't worry about what others think, that you're a crazy person, you don't have anything better to do, nothing like that. Just go and sit in the corner and just observe people walking. That's it. You might want to spend a day doing it. So then we come to the 8th ability, my dear friends, which is stability in conflicting situations and conditions. Let's become unaffected by any kind of conditions or situations and be stable, mentally stable. Mentally stable, my dear friends. No matter what situations occur, some people keep their calm. You might remember MS Dhoni, how he is calm and stable even in panic situations, even in, very chaotic situations. He takes the right decision. Why? Because he's mentally stable, mentally strong, mentally calm. What would we have done in those situations? We might have gone crazy. So even in conflicted situations, if you can keep your mind calm and stable, that is when you will take the right decisions, the right thought, the right words come from your mouth. Stability, my dear friends. And if you have this virtue, you are really, really, really a rich person. If you do not have stability, you can be a victim of confusion, chaos, panic. A confused person cannot be prosperous. And he always walks on the path of failure, my dear friends. And stability will give you the frame of mind by which you are not trapped by appearances and emotional turbulences. Appearances are deceptive. We all have listened to us from our childhood, but we still fall for appearances and emotional turbulences. We get the better of, we let the The emotions will affect us. We let the emotions affect us. It affect our mind. And you keep your mind clear and gain control upon conflicting situations. How do you behave? How do you talk in conflicting situations? That's a crisis for you. That's a test for you. And a stable person makes decisions not only by what he sees, hears, or feels, but also by what he knows and intuitively grasps. He is a surfer, and he keeps his stability even on the rising waves of events and uses them as the means and source of his prosperity. He doesn't drown in the situations, he surfs through the situations. He navigates through the situations. He doesn't drown in them. And that is what the difference is between an unstable mind and a stable mind. And stability saves him from the poison of irritation, from quick and unright decisions, from unnecessary words, and from failure. Stability. Calm, composed, focused. How do these words feel? They give balance to you. They give utmost understanding to you. They give maturity to you. They give you the ability to see everything from all the viewpoints, isn't it? So that's the stability, my dear friends. Whatever may be the situation, wherever you are, we need to cultivate a stable mind. Stable mind, my dear friends. Stability is very, very important. Let's come to the 9th ability, treasure, is intellectual honesty. No one can enjoy his money, prosperity, and position if they are gained by dishonest means. Your ideas, intellectual honesty, my dear friends, your ideas, visions should be honest. And intellectual honesty creates fundamental success which lasts forever. An intellectually honest person will not advise people about something he does not know. If we do not know something, let's shut our mouths. Do not give any advice to any person which you are not sure of, which you are not accurate about, which you don't know about. Let's learn to shut our mouths when it is not true, when you don't know something. When you don't know something about the other person, when you don't know clearly about what the situation is, when you don't know anything about what the person has to learn about, the lessons that he needs to learn, the karma that he needs to flow, when we can't assess the situation correctly, when we ourselves don't know ourselves, we don't know what our thoughts are, where they are coming from. When we don't know about ourselves, how can we advise anything about others which we do not know? Let's learn to shut our mouths. When we don't know. If you know, please, you're welcome to open your mouth and talk. No problem. So, he will not try to lead someone if he does not know the path. He will not speak about something of which the roots are hidden from him. So, your own glamours, your own desires, you might want to put on that person or mislead that person. Your own experience from the past. For example, I have had a bad experience with with one person. So what will we say to the other person? Don't talk to him. He's like that. Have you seen that person from different viewpoints? No. You tell the other person based on your experiences. You can say, this is the experience that I've had with you. You might want to add my viewpoint to your viewpoints. That is what we can say. But we judge that person based on our experience, our opinions. Your glamours, your mayas, your illusions. We put it out on somebody else as if we know everything. So he will not imitate or lie mentally to himself or the others. An intellectual person does not lie to himself or others. An intellectually honest person does not lie to himself or others. If I don't know something, I don't know something. Period. Full stop. We don't have to lie to ourselves and others, saying that we know something. So an intellectually honest person does not decorate himself with the feathers of others. And he does not try to shine by the lights of others. I can give an example of a peacock and a crow. Okay? There is a peacock and a crow in the jungle. As you've seen this beautiful peacock on the picture. The peacock looks so beautiful, isn't it? So there's a crow which comes in and says that, oh my God, that peacock is so beautiful. I want to be like a peacock. I want to look like a peacock. I am so ugly. Nobody's looking at me. Nobody's watching me, but everybody's looking at the peacock. Sure, he is so beautiful. So then what does the crow do? The crow picks up the feathers of the peacock and stucks it to himself. Attaches it to his own body. So he picks all the feathers of the peacock and puts those feathers onto his own body. And then he goes around flaunting his new feathers, his look, as so as to say, in front of the jungle members, jungle family members. And all the jungle animals will say, oh my God, see that beautiful crow. The crow is so beautiful. How did the crow become beautiful? Because by using the feathers of another peacock. And the crow is so happy that everyone is looking at him because of the peacock feathers that he has stuck on him. And then, as he walks through the forest by admiring the jungle animals, a blow of wind comes through and that wind blows off all the feathers off from the crow. So now what the crow is? He is appearing exactly as the crow is. The ugly crow, as he thinks about himself. So let us not decorate ourselves with others' feathers and think that we are a saint, we are beautiful, we are successful. No, we can't be. It is only because of our own efforts that we will become successful or beautiful or enlightened or anything. I hope this point is clear. And such a virtue is a great help in business. And if you sell something which you do not believe has value, you are intellectually dishonest. And dishonesty leads you to failure because it creates cleavages in your very nature and brings confusion and doubt within you and others. See, if I'm a doctor and if I'm giving crocin to you because you have a headache, and I myself as a doctor do not believe in the tablet called crocin, what does it mean? And intellectual honesty is a great, great, great mental treasure, my dear friends. Let's be honest on our mental sphere. Is there honesty in our mind? Intellectual honesty, my dear friends. This is a great virtue that everyone should have and become abundant in our mental treasures. Then we come to the 10th power, ability, treasure, whatever you might want to call it. The 10th power is the power of creativity. And this is the ability to express and manifest your inner divinity, the spiritual treasures that you have cultivated in your heart, in your being. And the moment that you have become divine, you need to express and manifest your inner divinity, my dear friends. Once you have cultivated all the 12 treasures or virtues in your spirit, in your soul, in your heart, in your being, you have become divine. And now it is time for us to express and manifest your inner divinity. The ability to express and manifest beauty, goodness, truth, and simplicity. The cultivation happens in your spirit, in your heart, and the expression and manifestation happens in your mind. And creativity means to transmit the divine plan and the divine purpose and to translate the divine will. We have our own individual plans, individual purposes, and individual wills. But when we become spiritually abundant, we go according to the divine plan, the divine purpose, and the divine will, so that we manifest the divine will, the divine plan, and the divine purpose onto this earth. And that is what we need to cultivate creatively. And creativity is the ability to do things in your life differently than what others have done in the past. Not to create an image for yourself, but because that is what you are. You are being and the divine person. My style is different. Manusha's style is different. We are all creative people, doing things creatively in a different way. But both of us are manifesting the divine will, the divine purpose, and the divine plan onto this earth in our own creative ways, isn't it? Just because our ways are different, that doesn't mean that she's wrong or I am wrong. We are just creative people, doing things in a creative way. So creativity means to have new approaches to people, to events, to conditions. And creativity means constant renewal of the power of observation and synthesis. Synthesis, my dear friends. How do you create this painting that you see right now? When you get all the colors together, when you get your brushes together, then only you can paint something so beautiful. Get everything together. Get yourself together. Then you can paint a beautiful painting like this. Try to paint something, my dear friend. This is another exercise that I want to give to you. Try to paint something. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be anything. Just get some colors and try to paint something out of it. Do some painting, drawing. It will increase your creativity. This is an exercise that everyone should do. You don't have to be an artist, my dear friends. You don't have to be a painter. You don't have to be a drawer. Just get some colors and start painting, just like you have done in your childhood. You've tried your hand of various things, isn't it, when you were a child? Try doing some painting. And then we come to the 11th point, which is the ability to analyze and synthesize. You try to see in detail and then bring the details together and form a whole. So you have seen the earth from different viewpoints. Now it is time to bring a synthesis out of what you have seen from different viewpoints, to bring a 360-degree angle and make it a globe of different continents. So that is how, when you bring your details together and make a whole out of it. Bring the wholes together and compose what? A synthesis. And to synthesize means to bring things together in such a way that they do not lose their individual beauty. Their individual beauty, my dear friends. Africa is beautiful, Australia is beautiful, India is beautiful, America is beautiful. Without losing their own beauty, let's bring everything together. Even if you think that that particular aspect is bad or you do not like it, we are above our emotions. But in relation with each other, evoke greater beauty from each other. Every viewpoint creates greater beauty from each viewpoint. We bring things together, my dear friends. We bring a group together. We bring our family together. We bring ourselves together. We bring situations together. We bring events together. And then we synthesize everything. Then we will be able to understand. And once we bring together, let's analyze. Analysis is the effort to find the roots of events and happenings. Insight and foresight. And synthesis means to use them for the plan and purpose of life. And the ability to analyze and synthesize is a great mental treasure. And almost all great inventions and scientific discoveries are the result of analysis and synthesis. What different things are we doing than intellectual people, intelligent people? How is their mind? How does their mind function? Because they analyze and they synthesize. We, on the other hand, we have a one-track mind. We have one viewpoint mind. That is why we are not successful. And because they analyze and synthesize and have insight and foresight and focus on the clarity and everything, they are successful. They found something, then discovered something. They have intellectual honesty. And then we come to the last treasure of the mind, my dear friends, is the ability to penetrate and leave behind all that is obsolete, all that is unessential, that is non-essential, that is not necessary. This is a great treasure. And when you see that things have fulfilled their purpose, let them go like a shoe that can no longer be used. Can you relate this to yourself, your life, your events, your situations, your mind? Can you relate this to yourself, my dear friends? In the past, whenever we wanted to travel to some place, we used to use bullock carts or we used to go by walk. Now that the technology is advanced, okay, do we use the bullock cart or do we use a car to travel? But we do not give away the old ways to do it. Now they are obsolete. Now they are useless. Now we use a car because it is more efficient, more fast. So stop hanging to those things. Stop holding on to those things which have now become obsolete. The thinking, the beliefs, the thoughts, the speech. If they do not fulfill a purpose, if they have become obsolete, if they have become old, outdated, just leave it. Let's keep upgrading our mind, updating our mind with new things. That is how our mind becomes sharp and beautiful and updated. Let's upgrade our mind, update our mind. If something has become obsolete, just leave it, let it go. Old ways of thinking, old ways of talking, old, usual ways of doing it. If they have become obsolete, just let it go, is it? And there are many kinds of forms that have lived their lives and must go. But we hang on to them. And those who hang on to obsolete forms cannot enjoy abundance and prosperity because they live in the past and not in the future. If we are living in the past, we cannot be successful in the future. Because that is what is our present, isn't it? In the present, we are living in the past. So how can our future be abundant and prosperous? So prosperity is a contact with future abundance. Sometimes we leave our teddy bears, but we find teddy girls or teddy boys or teddy jobs. We try to find the reflection of our past in our future. We replace it, but we never leave it. We never let it go. And as soon as we grow up, we must leave them behind and gear ourselves with the wheel of the living life and try to manifest its plan and purpose. And those who are attached to old forms, whether they be political, educational, philosophic, artistic, scientific, religious, traditional, or financial, cannot expand their consciousness and are left behind. If they are not left behind, my dear friends, this gear this gear thing that you're seeing in the picture will not function smoothly. And a successful person is an ever-progressive person. If we are stuck in the past, then we cannot progress. Leave it behind, because it's already behind. Leave it there. Less luggage, more comfort, my dear friends. So once his Occams teacher, he said, finding the skin of a snake, said, well, at least the snake is wise. He left behind the skin, which was preventing him from growing. Do not stay in any kind of shell. Either you must break it or you will die in your own shell. And a person with these 12 mental treasures is a person of abundance. He becomes a magnet, and benevolent forces help him to be successful and in abundance. Either you break your shell or die in it. The choice is yours. Always. So that is the session for today, my dear friends. Mental abundance. So we have completed the 5th day also today. We have just 2 more days. And tomorrow we will be understanding about emotional abundance, emotional treasures. And on the final day, we will find out what real success is. And we'll do an exercise on abundance.